Hey guys, hope you are all well. It's Friday afternoon here on the Gold Coast and just about to leave the office, but I thought before I leave, I'll just put in a video with the latest update. So this will give you guys opportunity to review them over the weekend, as well as just do some back testing and some running them of yourself. So we'll jump straight into it, and I'll just make sure that this is actually streaming where it is supposed to be streaming. So just give me one moment while I check up on that. Okay. All right. Seems to be fine. On there. Okay. Just one more. There we go. Okay. So I know that this is actually working, which is great. All right. I'm going to just deactivate the video so we can see the screen clearly and I can just move it away from in front of me. So let's do that. Excellent. All right. So our latest updates include a slight modification to the Medina wick trader. So we've got I've got a 5-minute chart on the screen here. And before we were actually having a small issue with the results not showing. So the drawdown, the accuracy, the net profit, all of that was kind of hidden for a while. And that also impacted the daily targets. So the strategy has got daily targets that you can actually choose. So on this one over here, I've just got it running on a sim account at the moment. I've selected a 200 target and a 500 stop, and also the tick boxes to use this target or the stop. So you could also choose which one you want to use. If you only want to use a stop, like a daily stop, you can just tick that box and then leave the other box open, which often can help, really not limit your potential for the upside. Okay, so that's on the Medina. You'll notice that those are in there. As you know, you've got the ability to move your sliders, on the settings of the strategy, so that'll automatically adjust the settings. Okay, so the main update that I wanted to cover is going to be in our strategy builder, our strategy analyzer. So you'll be happy to know that we now have the ability to be able to optimize daily targets and stops. So if you've been around with me for a while, you'll know that that is quite a big thing. Before we ran optimization and we put in dates that we were optimizing, and what was happening, we were getting some very good days, some other days that weren't so good. And, you had some outlier days that gave an overall good result for a strategy, but then a lot of days in between were not that effective. So with this now, you can choose your very specific daily target. Okay. So like over here, I've got like a 5,000 daily target and a 1,000 loss. So I'm prepared to risk $1,000 a day for a $5,000 a day profit. And this is on a single NQ contract. So let's just have a look at the settings. So it's a single entry per direction. We optimize on max net profit. And these dates that I'm using here are just the 10th of July up until the 28th of July. So it's only a small sample of time. And I just ran this to, make the optimization run quicker, because obviously the more days that you run, the longer the optimization results will take to display. So this is just purely for this video. And I've optimized analytical bars. So as you know, when you're running the optimization with the strategy analyzer, you have to be very careful with settings. So I did record a video for members. So if you go into the Discord chat, you will see a chat there for the group Zoom calls. It's an unlisted YouTube channel that you can watch a detailed description of the strategy analyzer. And that just gives some good training on that and how to run the optimization. But very briefly for this case, we got individual time slots within the analyzer. So we're able to optimize very specific times of the day, which is pretty incredible. So, all these different slots starting from like 6:15 p.m. to 8:50 is slot 1, slot 2 slots at 9 p.m. to 11:50. And obviously all these are customizable, but even, how I created them in their default settings is pretty good. So we optimize the slots for the day for specific times of the day over any period of time that we want. And we can also choose the day. So we can choose specific trading days of the week that we want to optimize. So there's quite a lot of flexibility in this to be able to really, optimize effectively. Again, always make sure you put slippage in. So slippage is such an important thing. If you don't use slippage in your optimizer, you're going to get very inaccurate results. Okay, so let's just go, look at the optimization. So what the analyzer is going to do, it's going to try and produce days where it makes $5,000 profit, and it's going to risk a maximum of $1,000. So you'll notice over here, the first day it made its 5,000, next day it lost 1,000, and so on and so forth. Some days it didn't quite hit the 5,000. Other days, obviously weekends, it's not going to trade. Sunday, there's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and so on and so forth. So this is what the strategy analyzer can do now. So, as you can think of it as like worst case scenario, if you are wanting to make $1,000 a week and you're running optimization and you're getting a lot of $5,000 days, you only need one of those 5 days to be successful to actually hit your target. So as an example, like the last few days, the optimizer produced, one day where it hit its 5,000, and that obviously covers everything else around it. Okay, so that is what that looks like. And, to give you an example of another optimization that I've done, I've pulled on, an optimization over here. So this is on the analytical one strategy continuous. And this one over here, if I go to that, also the historical data on this, it's a similar type of thing there where we are setting a individual net profit per day. So we're targeting $5,000 a day with a maximum of 1,000 drawdown. And this strategy with these specific settings has not actually hit that daily drawdown yet using, these specific settings. So that's how, this is, that's what the strategy analyzer can actually produce and work with those. So again, when you're looking at the analyzer, always make sure you compare your trading chart to your actual chart that you are running on. So applying the settings, adding on the trading chart, and then going and making sure that your trades are plotted the same as your chart. And as you can see, adding that slippage is vitally important because, as you know, as soon as a bar closes, the next trade is not going to be at the beginning of that bar. It's going to be, it's going to be the bid or the ask, depending on where it's closing. So that's why that slippage is vitally important. If you don't put that in, you're going to get every single trade is going to show you an inaccurate entry point. Okay, so that is the strategy analyzer. And we covered the Medina. Okay, the next really cool thing I wanted to share with you is one of our latest indicator additions. So as you know, volume is quite an important factor when determining, what price action is doing, what the market is doing. So this indicator that we have over here is going to give us the volume of each of the bars. So if you look at the left of the chart here, I've actually got 4 iterations of this specific indicator on the chart. Okay, so I've loaded the indicator 4 times. It's called DTB candle volume. Okay, so I've put it on a 5-minute chart. We'll look at a few others in a moment, but you can specifically select custom timeframes for each of the iterations that you put on. So I put this on a 5-minute chart. I've put the 5-minute volume so I can see what all the candles are doing for the 5 minutes. I've also got a 10-minute, a 15-minute, and a 30-minute. Okay, so those are, and you can go and select all different types of bars in here to give you the volume of each bar. Now, if you guys are volume traders, it is quite a significant thing what you're looking at here. So the far left one is our 5-minute volume. So each of these bars are going to, when they close, whether they close above or below the previous one, they're going to paint the color that they closed at. So either, green or red, and the numbers on the left are going to reflect that. So all of these values, if you look at them, they are showing on the left. There's 107. The previous one was 165, 161. So that's giving you all these values. And you can also choose how many you want to display on your chart. I think you can fit a maximum of 50. So, and the second one is 10 minutes. So without having to bring up a 10-minute chart, you can specifically see what the volume of each of the last 10-minute bars were. Same with the 15-minute and same with the 30-minute. So quite a significant thing. And, like I said, you guys who trade volume specifically, you can see what volume is inside each bar and what effect that volume is having on price. And soon you're also going to pick up some sort of a pattern with the coloring. So you're going to notice a certain value, 5 or 6 bars in a row, green and then red and then a mixture. So, that's on the 5-minute chart. Now, I've also applied that to a volume chart. Now, because it's a volume indicator, I've put this on 1,000 volume and I actually loaded up the 1,000 volume custom time frame on here. So same thing over here. It's because every bar is 1,000 volume, it's going to show obviously only 1,000, but then it's also showing you the color of the bar, how it closed. And then I've added the 5,000 volume, 10,000 volume, and 30,000 volume. So quite interesting. Again, like I said, you're going to start picking up patterns where you notice a group of colored bars like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green and then a red. You can notice quite a lot of patterns where you see a certain amount of value of a certain color, and again, it's a numbers probabilities game too. So you're often going to get situations where you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row of a certain color, and then the next bar is going to be red, which means that the next bar is going to close lower than the previous bar on that time frame. So that's on 1,000 volume chart. I've also applied it to a tick chart. So this is 1,000 tick chart, and each of these values is how much volume is in each of the bars. So, I mean, a lot of people, I wouldn't say a lot, I think there's one other company out there that I've seen that even has they've got a 5-minute, a 5-minute chart or indicator that shows the last 4 or 5 bars volume. Okay. And, there's not too much you can do with that, but when you're able to analyze different time frames all together, it gives you a whole different perspective. It gives you a much deeper look at the market. It gives you a much deeper analysis of what is happening across multiple time frames, and very simple. So you can see again, you'll start noticing these patterns happening 4, 5 in a row, and then a changeover. And the coloring of the bars are a great help too. Okay, so that's the 1,000 tick chart. Here is a range chart. Here is a 10 range chart. And what I've done is I've gone and added the indicators on there for range. So I selected a 10 range, 15, 20, 30, all custom for each iteration of it. So as you add the indicators, you can choose how many lines you want. So how many, are going to be listed there. And then you choose the horizontal shift. So you can have any number on a chart. You just got to keep, like the panel shift is 0 for the first one. The second one will be 20 for the, and so on and so forth. In fact, if you had to open up any chart and you're a DTB member, you can just right click on the chart, go to templates and load, and you'll be able to load up a pre-configured template called volume comparison 5-minute to 30-minute. So as soon as you load up that template, you're actually going to get this exact chart. So you're able to go into your template, load that up, and it's going to come exactly like this chart looks now. So that's the benefit, that you guys have. You've got these preloaded templates after you've run your script. Okay, so that is the 10 range. There's one more that I actually wanted to show you, and this is the volume chart. So again, this is the 1,000 volume with all the different values on there, but I've also got the breakout volume indicator set on here. So again, takes it to a completely different level of comprehension. As you know, these breakout volume markers, they get left behind at the price where they paid in real time. So if the marker is following the price, that means it hasn't given its signal yet. But as soon as this marker is left behind, that is where there's significant input into the market where you can start making decisions. So to give you a quick example, this orange marker here was left behind on this bar. This blue marker was left behind on this bar. So it actually shows you the very bar where those markers are left behind, and you can actually trade them. So as soon as this red bar closed over here, as soon as this red bar closed, that the price was gonna run down, because this red marker was left behind. The price had finished running up. That red marker was left behind, signaling a significant turning point. And that's going down. And then you also got the coloring of the bars to help you and to stay in a trade. So you can even stay in a trade until you have a bar turn around a different color. So there's quite a few different techniques you can employ, using this indicator. So just giving you a very in-depth look at what the different time frames are telling you. So that was the marker, and we haven't even looked at the Fibonacci level. So, as soon as you go into your indicator list, you can add a few other supporting tools. We've got quite a few different indicators available that that you can add to your chart, but start from a clean chart. Start from, the last thing you want your chart to look like is a Christmas tree. So, start from absolute beginning and then build on there, but try not to add too many tools to the chart. Cool. So I hope you guys enjoy working with these updates, especially the analytical. This optimization is a really powerful thing. It's the only way to test a strategy. The only way you can test a strategy's effectiveness is by accurately back testing it. And the strategy analyzer provides this opportunity, and I don't think it's used enough. And I definitely do not see it used much by trainers out there who are, helping people. Great. So I'm going to leave it at that. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. And we got our Sunday night call as usual. So every Sunday night at 8 p.m. New York, we have our group Zoom call. So if you guys are available, jump on that call. You can ask me any live questions you have. It's also recorded for the guys, that are scattered all over the world. So Thank you guys so much. And I look forward to working with you and seeing where you can take this. Cheers.